Okay. The fact, first of all, that you gave birth to a child biologically does not make you the parent of that child. I think that was what you said. But here I'm going straight to the percentage. You find out that 29% of our cases have had mothers-in-law being the cause of the breakdown of the marriage, and 9% has been that of the father's interference. That is, the problem was not the husband, the problem was not the wife, the problem was just the parent. A lot more has been by the parent of the groom, that is the parent of the husband, and also the parent of the wife. So today, first of all, to make you understand very well, we're going to be making some calls. But this is my conclusion to all that will marry. The final test in every relationship is to find out if a person, either man or woman, is still tied to the cords of their family or their tradition. When you find a man that cannot decide for himself, but will go, it is what his father or his mother would say is what he would do, and cannot for himself take initiative, that is not somebody to marry, because he does not fulfill the criteria of leaving father and mother to cleave to his wife. And the same thing with a woman. When you are with a woman and you see that it is what the mother says, or what the uncle says, or what the family says is what they would do, please do not go into it. It is a lot of venom, a lot of bitterness. It does not, it leads to all kinds of abuse. It goes from emotional to psychological to verbal to physical abuse. If you are going to be in a car with a pilot, you had better know that the pilot is using his eyes to see, not connecting to another person who is not there at that time to decide for him which way to turn. A man must be free. The job of a parent is to train their children not before marriage. That is, to raise them to become men. Now, when you are not a man, you are not fit to marry. When you are not a woman, you are not fit to marry. You have just raised boys and girls who are still playing in the yard. When your son cannot sit to take a decision or know what is in his own best interest, then let them not go and bring another woman into their confusion. When you know a woman is not even, cannot even, it has to be what their parents say, what her uncle, what her family decides that you will do. Several instances we've had where the mother-in-law will come into the house. Of course, nobody knows how to cook. The daughter-in-law cannot cook. There's always a complaint that leads to this harsh treatment of the other spouse. Always complains, this is how we do, they don't do this, they don't do that. Mothers-in-law, the only job of a parent after marriage is the safety of his child, daughter or son. That is the only duty. That is, if the person marries and is brutalized or injured, or, you know, that is your concern. That is where you come in, the safety of a child. But when a child is married, you are not there for direction. The child should have been raised to know which direction to take. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will stress to you that when you want to marry, it is important to know that this person is ready to live and cleave, is already a man that can take decisions. Not that your parents should not be should be ignored, but the role of a parent is not that of a referee. You know what the referee does? They run with the ball.
Yes.
When the player is playing, the referee is running beside, you know, the referee is there monitoring. No, their job is that of a coach who is outside the pitch. And it is when matters are so big that they cannot handle that they call the coach. It is not a referee that will come in to be running on the pitch with them, be running after the ball. That is not the job of a parent. So make sure that whoever you want to marry, whoever you are involved with, must not be tied to the aprons of his family or her family. It will not work. It will not work. I have seen, last year we rescued someone who the mother-in-law will hold down the girl for the husband to be beaten.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a time the mother-in-law started the beating, said, "You didn't greet me," and gave her a slap. And the husband came out and said, "What is that?" I said, "Your daughter," and the husband who gave the slap. You see, you cannot be with someone who is influenced, who cannot stand and protect his own family. The job of a husband is to protect the woman that he brought in and said he wants to marry. The job of a wife is to protect also the interest of the husband. Don't be with someone. Let me tell you, now I have come to the realization that there are some situations that cannot be changed. A lot of times we resort to, like yesterday I was talking to one who said she has been praying that her mother-in-law would accept her because the mother-in-law does not like her. The mother-in-law automatically transferred that to her children. So whenever she comes, she doesn't really buy anything. She just talks to her son. Even when the children greet the mother-in-law, she answers very, not because I don't like the wife. Then the next generation is also affected. Mothers-in-law and fathers-in-law, you should have trained your children to the extent that you are confident enough to leave them to marry. When you are still involved in their then there is a problem. But unfortunate is that person who is now the scapegoat, who goes to marry into the family. People marry for all kinds of reasons. I always say some people marry for comfort, some people marry because they got pregnant, some people marry because it is time, because they feel their age has come. Some people marry because of pressure, some people marry because of visa. The issue here is that the consequences of your choice would determine how long you would live, how well you would live. Because there are some comforts that is taken, you see, physical comfort that is drained away emotionally when your comfort leads to your tears. Of what use is the comfort? Let's make some calls. I would like to invite some to, can we do that?
Okay.
Anyway, let me continue while the calls,
yes,
while the calls, yeah. So I would appeal especially to those mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, leave your sons and daughters alone. The fact that you are still interfering, the fact that you are still trying to dictate, tell them what to do, means you have already failed. Because you did not raise a son, you did not raise a daughter, you raised a boy and you raised a girl. You have some who nothing their children does is wrong. I think it was 2 months ago, there was a case of infidelity where the husband caught the wife from chat messages, and he now became cold. He stopped eating because he saw that he was involved with another man. And when the girl just said, I don't know why you're not eating, and reported to the father, the man now told, the father called the husband and said, I heard you're not eating my... And he said, yes, why would I eat when your daughter so and so is sleeping with another man? The father-in-law said, I will call you back. Called the call. Then called back about 15 minutes after and said, you must have been doing something wrong that would make his daughter go to another man. So you should check yourself and see what you are doing wrong. Maybe you should ask her, so she would tell you. And the man said, are you serious? Is that what you are telling me? He now forwarded the messages to the father that he should read. The man said he's not interested in all that, but you see, the issue is that you are doing something wrong. To some people, even reported them in the face of an obvious wrong, they will still stand behind their sons, they will still stand behind their daughters. Instead of correction, you have indulgence. And that is how they have indulged. Beware of those that have been indulged. Beware of those that their parents cannot correct. Beware of those that have no authority. Nobody that they, you know, some people, you can't report them to anybody because they don't send anybody.
Right.
But first, be careful of those that are still tied to the aprons of their family. So,
hello.
Hi, this is 99.3 Nigeria Info. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you here on the show. This is Relationship 360, and the next person's voice you'll be hearing is Olumide Kayode Omosebi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to disturb you early this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Please, first of all, thank you for sharing, agreeing to share your story on air, and we really appreciate it. We have just 4 minutes, so could you just tell us, what happened in the event of your marriage?
Anyway, after the whole marriage thing, and that was before, and I just very close to the lockdown because of the COVID period. And then we're together in the house, and she said she has some clothes to pick from her parents' house, and that she said she's going on. She was just meant to go there on Friday and come back by Sunday.
At the time I said, why not even ask the tailor to bring the clothes down? But because of restriction then, and the fear of even person is going to come by public calls, so I said, fine, you can go.
She also almost felt that she needs to adjust the system. There might be need for it. And so she left, and after some time, the day she was meant to come back, she said,
let's say she was meant to come back today, and government now said maybe from tomorrow there will be a total lockdown. And I said, please make sure you come back. And then before I knew it, she said she wasn't feeling fine. And then because of the lockdown at the time, nobody could really go. But finally, one way or the other, myself and my family members, we went, and we were told that she has wound in her leg and all of that. So
that is after she had left to
after she had left for us.
To her mother's house?
Yes, to her mother's house.
Okay, her father, uncle?
No, her father is late.
Okay, so just to her mother's house.
So
we went there, and after some time, they find, okay, thank God for everything. Can you then come back up? Then the mom now said that she cannot release her, that she is the only one who can actually take care of her. And that was quite strange. And the whole thing was, the whole marriage thing was just 2 weeks when she left. And then now that she left, and after some time, we kept visiting, and she said no, that she can't come over to the house here, that she wants to take proper care of her. But the truth of the matter is this, she has not been back.
Right. Since that time till now?
Yeah, it's 2 years already.
So your marriage was just 2 weeks?
Yes, just 2 weeks. And she has not been back in there.
The mother said she is the only one that can treat your
I can take care of her.
Because she has a particular sickness that the hospital cannot.
Just wound at the leg.
A wound on the leg.
That was strange to us. We're like, she's even in the house. Let's go to the hospital now. Then we can take care. She insisted that no. And I think she also agreed with that one. And that's
The end of it.
There are other options. Can't the mother move to your own house to take care of her daughter in your own house, or you know?
No, she not. I mean, she didn't. I mean, we suggested that.
Wow.
She said no, like she can only take care of her in the house.
So your marriage lasted 2 weeks. Wow. I'm so sorry, sir. I want to. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for sharing. I really appreciate. God bless you.
Thank you very much for the story.
Okay, I think we can have another call. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. 2 weeks after the marriage, the mother says the daughter is ill and she's the only one that can take care of the daughter, so the daughter cannot. 2 weeks after the marriage, those are part of the issue